Coach, we're only a few weeks away from that first Friday now of football. I'm sure your team's getting ready. They're getting excited. You bring back a lot of key pieces on both sides of the football. What's the atmosphere feeling like right now in the locker room and in the gym, knowing that the season is just around the corner?
Well, we have a lot of seniors that have played for 4 years for me. We brought a lot of freshmen up 4 years ago, obviously. And again, they're chomping at the bit. They're veterans. So a lot of our skill kids have been playing for 4 years for us. So, and again, the atmosphere is excitement. They're a great bunch of kids, but it's like a calm excitement, if that makes any sense, because they've been through the ringer before. They know the drive and the constant every day trying to get a little bit better, and bringing the younger kids that don't have the experience up to where they are, or try to get them close to where we should be by the start of the season. So it's always a challenge. It's high school football. I mean, you lose kids. We lost several kids from last year's team, some from injury that won't be back this year, which really hurt us in a point. But again, the way I look at it, it's opportunity for these younger kids to get a chance to play.
One of the things I've always wondered, and I'm backtracking a few years now since Wilkes-Barre merged into the Wilkes-Barre area, taking the three schools, forming it into one. Is it a challenge for you to have such a massive school where there's so many students, and say you have freshmen coming in and they want to play football, they want to give it a shot? For you as a coach, is it tough to inherit so many kids and try to pick out, okay, these guys, yeah, I could see them playing. These might need some work, and then there might be some others where it might take a couple extra years.
Well, that's all your summer work that you're doing now. We've been starting, I mean, really the last 2 weeks of May, we started having our spring practices, and you bring all the freshmen in, and along with your veteran kids that are coming back. And so it's this process from there. But then you see who's been showing up at practices. Sometimes you have to weed some kids out that really aren't ready for the position. But to answer your question, when it first started, it was a challenge because 3 different schools, and we weren't together in one school. So that was a real challenge. But I have a great staff. We've been together a long time with Ed Michaels, Tony Khalifi, my brother Ciro Cinti, Cliff Francis, and some other guys that have been helping. Kenny Jordan has come back and helped us this year. So it's been a challenge. It always is a challenge every year. And but to get these kids together and then basically over the summer see who's gonna progress and who's ready to come up and not. And then the freshman team is coached by my eldest son Chris, along with Michael Cinti and Joe Galamo. And these guys, like I said, have known each other for a long time. And even on the varsity, Hal Gabriel, he's one of the principals within the school. So it helps out a lot that you have these people that are together that know what we basically know each other before we don't even have to talk to each other. We know what we're thinking. So it's been a challenge. I said you'd been doing this this is my 40th year doing it. I can't believe it's been that long, and I'm still doing it. I still have a passion for it. Believe me, it's a young man's sport. I tell you, to coach, it really has been just the challenges of relying on these other coaches a lot, but really, persevering and basically, getting these kids' minds. Where I work at Valley West, I'm a home and school visitor, so I see a lot of these kids on a daily basis. The type of children that I coach, and it is a challenge, and these kids really want it. They want to be successful, so you just have to give them the opportunity. So that's what we try to do throughout the summer. We have, we go 3 days a week. We've been going for the last, like I said, since May, 3 days a week. So we give them that opportunity, and a lot of these kids strive for it. Some kids don't, and believe me, it's a commitment. And we try to teach them that you commit now, the rest of your life you're going to learn a lesson. A lot of these kids we know aren't going to go on to college or aren't going to, go into the pros if we're lucky enough to do that. But, if they learn the discipline of this, getting up every day, being part of a team concept, it's really satisfying for us as coaches.
At the end of the day, it's about building those life lessons. I know we care so much about the score and the result on the scoreboard, but when 90% of these kids walk away from football after they graduate, it's a lot of the life lessons you're hoping to pass along to them for the next 70, 80 years of their life.
And that's, I'm glad you said that, because again, records to me, year in and year out, you try to go every year. And I'm not a numbers person. I really am not. just so I know how many years I've been coaching. Believe me, my wife
that sticks in the head.
Yeah, that's definitely sticks in my head. I don't believe my wife lets me do this. My wife Dawn, we've been married 33 years now, and thank God that she's been there raising our 4 kids basically and letting me do something that I love to do. So without her, I never would have been able to do this for all these years. But these kids really, I'm so proud of a lot of them that go on into the military. I have kids that are now in Okinawa, that are in over in Africa. I have one player that's over in Africa now, one in Okinawa. There's another one over in Japan. There's one in Hawaii, another one in California that all did the military. And I would tell them, as long as you progress in life and maybe get out of this situation and you're living it here, it's only going to make you a better person. I'm so proud of those guys that have gone through the system and have learned and really have passed that along and are really making a contribution to our country. It makes me so proud to be able to say it had a little bit of that influence on those kids. It makes me feel very gratifying.
And you said you've been coaching for 40 years. Coaches are so influential in developing young players, not even just as an athlete, but as a human. You see a lot of Heisman Trophy winners, thanking their coaches, whether it be high school or college. And you're kind of like a piece of their life for so long. What is the most, your favorite part about being a coach, or the most satisfying part about being a coach?
I guess that's a hard one to wrap around, but it's easy to say when you see guys that have been out of the system for years and call or text and hey coach, how you doing, stuff like that. So that's really gratifying when you see someone comes back that you've maybe touched in a certain way that it's helped them get along, and maybe give a pat on the back or a kick in the rear, as we say. And they come back and talk to you and call you and talk, and that really is really satisfying when you see something like that happen. A lot of them are great parents. Some are lawyers. Some are doctors now, and that really boosts your ego. For me, it does. To see the alumni, I always say we're our family. That's how we break it down. And we always say family. We're all different mothers, but we're all together. We're all brothers from different mothers, as I say. And to see those alumni come back for years, even kids when I would coach at Coughlin, that have gone on. Like one guy in particular, Bucky Greeley, who was when I was assistant coach at Coughlin. He played in the '93 Rose Bowl with Kerry Collins when they were out. When Penn State made it, and they beat Oregon. And he was a starting center and one of the captains on that team. That kid was one of the hardest working kids, 3-sport athlete. But he'll be a kid that out of the blue, maybe we lost 2 games in a row. He'll text me, "Hey, coach, better days are coming."
That's awesome.
Lifts my feelings. Lifts my feelings when I'm feeling a little bit down or feeling sorry for myself. He sets things right and say better days are coming, and it really lifts your spirits when you see a guy like that doesn't have to do that. Living in North Carolina, and he spends the time just to give a little 2-minute phone call, really boost your spirits.
Coach has made this tough to transition because we're going to talk football, and we're talking about all the fantastic students you've had that are serving and doing such these great things. But I do know that it's going to be an exciting. You mentioned the better days ahead. It's probably going to be some pretty good days ahead moving into this season because you bring back a lot of guys. One player I want to touch on is your quarterback, of course, with Jake. I think one of the biggest things with high school football is when you bring a quarterback back that has that experience, you already have a leg up ahead of the competition. How have you seen him progress over the last 6-8 months since the season ended last year, going into his senior year now and taking more of a responsibility role, a captain role on this team, and prepare to bring you guys to, have a winning record and hopefully play deep into the fall and into late November? Yeah,
Jake is a unique individual. We brought him up, and he started as a freshman. That's the first freshman quarterback I've ever started. But to answer your question, from last year to this year, he is a 2-sport athlete. He also is one of the better players on their baseball team who finished second. They ran runner-up in districts.
Yeah, they were great this season.
Yeah, and then Jake is a third baseman, shortstop. This next year, this his senior year, I bet you he pitches a little bit more. But again, he worked hard in the offseason in the weight room, and that's something you could definitely see. Put on weight. He's probably 205, 210 pounds now. 6'3". I mean, he's running better. So this year we're gonna not be. Everyone knows he can throw the ball. He can chuck the ball 70 yards if he wants to. This year, I think you're going to see more of a running type of Jake Kyle when he gets in trouble. Instead of trying to force the ball, he'll try to pull it down and run. So you're going to see a little different type of athlete in that matter. And again, he's a 210-pound kid. I mean, you want to tackle him, good luck. But he's matured that way and brought a lot more kids in. Some of the younger athletes, like I said, that he's taken under his wing and make sure the extra practices and throwing the ball more to these young kids and showing them what efforts needed to get to that next level. A lot of the PSAC schools have offered him already, which is good. I said, Jake, just have another great year, and you're going to see the next step up will come looking for you. So that's what Jake is. I said he does give you a step up on that quarterback, but even his backup, Declan Gregor. He's a great kid. Another baseball player, played on the team this year, only a sophomore. He'll be a junior, but he's a kid that's always been there. Same thing, comes to all the practices, works hard, learns from Jake. And, if God forbid Jake wins down or something happens, he needs a break, you got a good backup that'll come in to fill his shoes.
Yeah, and you also have a returning wide receiver in Trayvon Gambitsky, who has a really great relationship as far as like on the field play with Jake. How important is it to have, another year with those star players and, just they know each other so well on and off the field. How important is it to have them like together back as well?
That's, again, Trey's another outstanding kid we brought up as a freshman, started 4 years for us. Robert Morris just offered him this year. Last week they just offered him, which is great.
Is that his first
he's had
Division One?
Trey has other very close. He's very close on a couple other schools.
Okay.
I won't go into that, but I know
Of course.
PSACs. But then Robert Morris officially offered him, and I know Lackawanna College really likes him a lot. So I'm sure they offered him too already. But Trey is a very good offensive player. Him and Jake are they're in tune together. You can just tell on the field. They know where each other's at. If they get in trouble, he knows where to go with Trey. Trey's a great defensive player. I think he's a better defensive player than he is offense, personally. I could say that he had 50 catches last year, but I think defensively, that's his niche. I really do. Again, he's a kid that he'll be a 3-year captain. I never had a sophomore, as you said, a freshman as a quarterback that started. As a sophomore, he was one of our captains, Trey, because of his leadership, and he's a really great kid. He's a kid I'd take home in a heartbeat. To date my daughter, because that's the type of kid he is. I really like him a lot. He works extremely hard. When he has a goal in mind, believe me, look out. He just get out of his way and just let Trey go. But he, again, along with him, there's other, as a transition, there's several other kids that have been there 4 years. You got Davon Underwood, again, another 4-year guy.
The backfield, yeah.
Backfield, an H-back that can be a good receiver along with the running back. A kid a sleeper this year that's really come on the track season. He was on their 4x team, and he went into states. Kevon Creech, who's had an outstanding junior year in track. And last year he played a little bit of safety, some receiving. This year he'll be playing a lot more receiver. And defensively, we know what he could do, but he's really fast. I mean, he's got just quickness. He's got a lot of things going. Another guy that's going to get offers. He will down the road, there's no doubt. And then the receiver core, Jordan Kozlowski, he had 46 catches last year. So, Jake really threw the ball around last year. Davon had 20. Underwood had almost 30-some catches. So this thing of those three guys have had over 100 catches between the three of them. Ray John Watson, he's only a junior, but another great kid that's just in the mix. That'll be in there every play, every down. So it's going to be an exciting year offensively. I said if our young line comes through, I think it's the sky's the limit. And we said that we won districts the last 2 years. We want to win districts again, but we want to compete on the state level. And that's our goal. That's my goal. I don't know how many years I have left, to be honest with you. So the years that way I've left, we put our heart and soul into it. So that's what we want. We picked last year. We had Whitehall. We have him again this year. Who's Saquon Barkley's high school, outstanding athletes down there. Their coach Marino, he went to Lycoming College, where I went to college a couple of years after me. But he a great coach. And then we also have Stroudsburg out of District 11. So we know the importance of playing better competition, and it's only going to make us better. And if we don't get better, then then you're in trouble. But that's why we want a challenging schedule that early. Then we have Valley View, who's always a potential district champ, and Dallas, who played in states, who I have utmost respect for Coach Manello in that program, the time he puts in. So the first 4 games are very telling for us this year.
And that's the biggest thing I've noticed about your schedule is you love to schedule those District 11 teams right off the bat and just see where your team is at going into District 2 play. And it really shows a lot. I know last year you guys won that game against Whitehall on your home field, and then you lost the next couple. How much more important, you touched on all the seniors that have played for the last 3-4 years. You've worked alongside this group. How special would it be for you or also the players to play deep into November and, like you said, win districts, but make a statement in the state tournament? Especially, they've been in this program for so long now, and this is the last rodeo for these guys. It's challenging going up against these 6A schools, as I'm sure you know, because you get deeper into the state tournament and you're going up against those powerhouses from the Philadelphia areas, the Pittsburgh areas. But how special would it be for this senior class specifically that's been around for so long to make a run into the state tournament this year?
It's a great point, and again, we stress that. That's how we break down our daily talk to these guys. They know they put the time in. Now it's them to benefit from it, and you want to be challenged. That's why I always say you want to be challenged at practice. You want to be challenged in life, and see how good you really can be. And this would culminate a great careers for these young seniors. I say they're young seniors, but for these young men that are seniors that have been in the program this long, to really get the fruits of the benefit of these. Of all the hard work, and it would mean a lot. It means a whole heck of a lot, and for the program to keep it going, because when you first started, it was rough. Believe me, I won't lie in that. And without great coaches, we're in trouble. But these kids have bought into it. They've worked hard. They've struggled. I mean, it's been a hot summer. It really has been.
It has.
When you're on that turf. If you're not in grass.
Ooh,
you're not
that
in
makes
shade.
It worse.
I mean, but you know what? I haven't had one issue with any of that. I mean, the kids, sometimes kids, they get a little bit upset or tired of this or that, and they, squawk off, and it happens. I mean, it's
part of the process.
Part of the process. This year, knock on wood, I better shut up. We've been very good. They've accepted the challenge. You got Coach Michaels that runs a lot of our conditioning stuff, who's been a great coach for many, many, many years. Lou Michaels was his dad that played in the pros, and Walt Michaels that was a coach for many years. He's a great coach, but he'll even be a better friend when we're all retired and going in that pasture. I mean, he'll be a guy that'll be a friend the rest of my life. So, so these kids have really picked up from that, but they've worked extremely hard. I want them to get the fruits of all their hard work. And this is something I said, the futures now, they have to really come through with this and work their tail off. And they have worked their tail off. I can't say nothing negative about that. We'll see what happens.
And, that Friday night is coming up. Friday night when the lights go on and the crowd is cheering. How does that ever get old? How exciting is that?
It's never old. And if it is old, retire. That's all we say. Because if it does get, that means you have to move on and do something else in life. You always get excited by that. Believe me, like I said, I've been doing this. I just turned 60 a couple months ago. So
congratulations.
Yes,
thank you. I'm still here. That's a good thing. So, I got a couple of grandkids now, and, they're part of the program. They come on the field after the game. So it's really a family. It's always been family. I said that's how we break down family every day. And that really, to have all my friends at these things and have family come down after the game, win or lose. They know the time you put in. We put in a lot of time, and we're away from our family a lot of times. For me, it's been very good, and I have several of my sons help us. So I still see them on a daily basis, but to have my wife and our close friends come down after the game, it means a lot. It does.
Do you Do you have one more thing that you want to accomplish in your coaching career? Do you have a checklist? I assume throughout your career you've accomplished things that you're like, all right, let's check this off. Let's check this off. Is there one more box that's maybe open, or are you just doing it for the love of the game? Do you love football?
I'm not big on that stuff. I really am. I'm not. In my house, you'll see pictures of my family, and that's really what matters to me. Excuse my voice. I apologize. A little bit too much yelling. But I listen. It's funny. Last year we had 100th win, which was, I guess, a great accomplishment. But I said it's a number for me. But so many other people and friends, one of our coaches, they made a nice trophy for me. And excuse me, it meant a lot that way. But I don't personally have a lot of that. That doesn't matter to me. It never has been. Family means more to me than anything. Making these kids progress and be productive in life. That's my whole goal. And that's, you might say, yeah, you're full of it. I'm not when it comes to that. The kids mean more to me than anything. Records don't, I don't care. Personally, I don't. I just, with the game in front of us, that's what I worry about. End of the season, I worry about the kids going out to college, going out to military, going out to trade school, whatever it is. That's what I care about personally. And that means more to me than anything. Records, checklists. I'll tell you one thing. When I do decide to call it quits, we were laughing, my wife and I, the other day. I said, one of these days, it's going to be nice to actually have a vacation in August. That's my bucket list. Have a vacation in August, and that's the only thing I
spend a Labor Day weekend on the shore or something.
That without having to worry about 18 different things.
Writing X's and O's on a whiteboard, right?
Yes, worry about kids eating, worry about doing all this other fun stuff. That's the one thing I will say on the bucket list that I do always say. And I kid with my wife. We're funny. We just came back from Wildwood Crest. We took like 3 days off, and she works her tail off too. She really does. But we said, yeah, but it'd be nice to in August or September have a vacation. That's all. That's what I care about. So there you go. That's on my list.
Well, when the time comes, you're more than deserving of it, Coach. Whitehall taking the trip down there for the start of the season. August 22nd is that week one of the Friday night. For us, our first show, Friday Night Football show, but for you guys, it's the first week of the season. And I'm sure we'll connect down the road, Coach. Really appreciate you stopping by the studio and taking a few minutes to chat with us.
I'd like to say thank you. I love the support you give our local athletes, not just Wilkes-Barre area, but the whole District 2. It means a lot to these kids. It does. So when you highlight them, it's whoever it is, if it's Wilkes-Barre, if it's whoever the heck it is, as long as you're highlighting them, they deserve it. They work hard. These coaches, I love our coaches in our conference. When we play them on a Friday night or Saturday, we were competitors, but every other day we're friends. And that's I got a bunch of good friends that I know I'll have the rest of my life. These extra coaches who really bust their tail and want to be productive. So I love them all. So thank you.
One more thing I want to ask you.
Go for it, Alaina. Go for it, Alaina.
I love the shirt. We are one. What does that mean? Is that your motto for the team?
Well, this is something we said, right? Because remember, we're three schools, and now we all became one. So 3 schools now become one. So that's why we are one.
Love it.
Instead of being, because I tell you, we're always battling. We're always rivals. All 3 schools when we played against each other. And I was at Coughlin. It's a couple goes to our GR somewhere at Myers. So we're all from 3 different schools, but we all became one. That's what we are one. So that's a motto we always kept, and we'll keep it for as long as I'm here.
It's a fantastic message to leave us off, right?
Yep.
Coach, thanks so much for stopping by. I'm sure we'll swing by a practice in the next couple of weeks. I know August 4th it gets started, right?
Oh, you're always welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.